A gun, a knife, and pepper spray. These weapons and more were found on the man arrested outside Justice Brett Kavanaugh's home yesterday. He was angry about the leaked Supreme Court draft overturning Roe v. Wade. He was also angry about the shootings in Uvalde. He's been charged with attempted murder of a Supreme Court justice.
Violence against conservative justices and pro-life groups is escalating. So are heightened security measures. Heather Sells reports on a crisis that's expected to get much worse if Roe is actually overturned.
U.S. Marshals patrolled outside the home of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh on Wednesday after arresting and charging a California man with attempted murder. He allegedly said he was upset about the leaked Supreme Court opinion on abortion and the shooting in Uvalde. We will not go back! Since the leaked opinion, protesters have gathered regularly outside the homes of Kavanaugh and other conservative justices. On Tuesday, Homeland Security warned that the High Court's abortion case, along with immigration and the midterm elections, could trigger extremist violence. The president has condemned any threats, violence, or vandalism against the justices, but he has stayed silent on the hate crimes against the pro-life groups. Many remember the threat Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer made to Kavanaugh at a rally 2 years ago.
You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
The justices aren't the only ones feeling the heat right now. Abortion terrorists have also targeted pro-life organizations across the country.
The latest target, a pro-life crisis pregnancy center in Buffalo, New York. It was firebombed in the middle of the night.
The building itself sustained heavy damage.
Reverend Jim Harden leads the center and says it will take months to repair.
It is unusable at present, at least 25% fire damage and 100% smoke damage throughout.
With signature graffiti on the side of his building, Harden suspects the abortion terrorist group Jane's Revenge. They could also be responsible for fire bombings at 2 other pro-life groups in Wisconsin and Oregon. In addition, a dozen or so crisis pregnancy centers are reporting vandalism and threatening messages. Sue Liebel leads pro-life strategy at the state level and says she expects the intimidation and the violence to continue.
When someone feels like they've lost something, they're more angry, they're more intense about that.
Liebel predicts that post-Roe, there will be heavy picketing and riots near state houses debating abortion. In this challenging climate, pro-life groups like Students for Life of America are hiring security guards and teaching volunteers at rallies how to stay safe.
A lot of times we instruct students just to remain silent, not to engage. If you are engaging, engage in a dialogue, in a one-on-one conversation, not shouting.
For now, Compass Care is serving women in an alternate location, and morale, he says, is high.
The church in particular in New York has rallied. There's been an outpouring of support. People wanting to volunteer, people wanting to give.
Most Supreme Court analysts expect a decision later this month or even in early July. For pro-life organizations, that means heightened security and vigilance as the country watches and waits. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Well, this is horrific, and I really just don't understand the motivation behind this. These are crisis pregnancy centers. These are centers designed to help women give birth to children. If you're saying you're for women's rights, why in the world would you target an organization, a series of organizations? All they want to do is help women. It makes no sense at all. But in our current political climate, the polarization, you have the Senate majority leader inciting people to go after the Supreme Court. It's the heightened polarization. And in that, people are incited to violence. We have to have calls from the highest leaders. The president has to step up here and say, this is not allowed in America. This is, by very definition, a hate crime. Please let's have leadership here and say, no, if you disagree with what the Supreme Court is doing, that's fine. You have plenty of opportunity at the ballot box to have your voice heard. You don't have to carry weapons to Supreme Court justices' homes.